right, guys, you know what it means to be a venter. The walk must go on. I am literally coming out for our walk a little bit sooner than I normally would.
This kind of dust storm is more typical, prototypical, if you will, in late June, early July.
Because we have the monsoon storms coming, and I saw them on the news, and they're literally on the east side of the valley, but they're starting to come this way, and I can already see dust in the air, and the winds are picking up pretty quickly. Now, if I walk this route, it's 12 minutes, but that's if I walk at a leisurely pace. I'm gonna try to make this a 10-minute walk, but the point is, Sean, Mala, everybody, the walk must go on. There's always a reason not to take a walk, and a storm is a damn good reason. But here's the thing, if you know it's 10 or 15 minutes away, why not take a 10 or 15 minute walk real quick? The reason I wanted to come out is because once it starts, it's gone. There's no more walking, you know what I mean, once that starts. And supposedly the wall of dust is near record levels. At least that's what the news lady said. She said, this looks like the biggest wall of dust I've ever seen. I believe they call them haboobs. I forget the exact name, but it's basically something Arizona's known for, where we get these giant dust storms. And they can be pretty crazy. I can literally already feel the dust going in my eyes. Holy moly. Let's see if we can finish this. The reason I ran out is because the news lady said, stay indoors. And I'm like, shit, that sounds like a green light to go outside, you know? Holy moly. So real quick, I am a firm believer that we as people are constantly given choices in life. And one of the things that we constantly say no to is our workout, right? You ever hear people and they're like, man, I used to go to the gym so much. Everybody eventually has that story. And it all starts because on days like this where we debate, should we go and work out or should we not? Too many of us choose not to. Now, I'll be honest, if I didn't have the daily walk with you guys, I might have just said, you know what, this is that one day I'm not gonna walk. But I didn't want to let you guys down. So the next time it's lightly snowing and you have that choice, put your shoes on, go for a walk. Today I had a registered behavior tech that I was trying to get for a school back east. And my partnership manager, the one that takes the person I give them, the teacher or the RBT in this case, and they share them with the school so we can get them interviewed. And for some reason, our PM just was kind of slow getting the stuff over to the school. And so I had one of these situations today where I found out that my candidate went, I guess, behind my back to another agency, and that same agency got his information to the school apparently one day before I did. So this guy got that job, but I got kind of cheated out of it, if you know what I mean. And it was just really disappointing because in life, a lot of times we're tied to other people, right? If it were up to me, I would have gotten this guy's information, his resume and profile over to the school 3 days sooner than our partnership manager. And who knows, maybe I would have gotten credit for getting that guy a job. Well, that happens with our workouts too. You know, when you and your next door neighbor, Becky, decide that you're gonna walk with each other each day, that's awesome and it's fine and dandy until what, guys? Until Becky says, not today. And see, you don't want your success tied to other people. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be a good teammate and have good team effort, right? It simply means that sometimes in business, we have to work with others. But when it comes to our health, we don't really have any excuses. Now, again, it's really weird because if you were to look at this wall, you can kind of see the dust in the air, right? I feel like I'm walking into the tornado from Wizard of Oz. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Do you know how many people have little walking troops? And then all of a sudden, Becky goes on vacation. Carla gets a new job, so she can't walk. And all of a sudden, there's Patty, and she's quitting her walking routine too. You know? Don't quit on yourself. Partners are fun. Partners make walking that much easier and that much more enjoyable. But you have to learn how to take a walk by yourself sometimes. I love when I talk to really smart people and they give really good advice. That's something I've always enjoyed. That's why I like watching certain shows and certain YouTube channels. But sometimes you have to be able to give yourself your own advice. And the best way to do that is when you're out taking a walk. I think there's actually more value to the mental side of taking a walk than the physical side. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that walk and they're naturally fit. But a lot of us, especially nowadays, a lot of us deal with a lot of stress and a lot of mental anguish. It kind of builds up like a savings account. And once it gets to the top, it explodes. You know, I shouldn't have used savings accounts because most of us don't have savings accounts that grow, but it kind of festers. And then all of a sudden you're exploding. If you take a daily walk, a lot of times you can avoid a lot of that stress. Holy shit, there's so much wind. If you see the wind take me up into the air in a rapturous moment, you'll know that I was chosen. Okay, the dog walkers. I love it. I don't know if you guys can see them with the camera, but they're trying to get in a quick little dog walk. I love it. You know, if you can beat the storm, it's really comfortable. I mean, right now I'm not thinking about how hot it is because the wind is making it nice. I'm trying to make excuses for walking in a dust storm. I have a feeling that our utilities are going to go out because the storm was saying that there's literally a lot of outages in the East Valley. So if this storm comes in and wreaks a lot of havoc, I might not be able to use my computer and stuff this evening. But let's think positive. Either way, we all know that the walk went on. Jesse didn't stop. But I am taking a short little 12-minute walk today rather than the normal 25-minute or so. Ooh, it's humid out here. It is very humid. They said on the news that it was raining mud in the East Valley, so I guess that's what happens. The dust gets whipped up, and then as the rain comes down, it catches that dust, and it falls in the form of mud. That doesn't sound very good if you cleaned your car. How many times have you guys cleaned your car on a Sunday, and then all of a sudden it rains on like crazy on Monday? I don't know if many of you guys have ever been in a dust storm, but you can literally feel little pieces of debris and dust getting in your eyes. It's crazy. This is going to be the worst show ever unless you guys can appreciate that that's not a gray cloud. That's a brown cloud of dust. These are the type of storms where, you know, when you have a lot of fog, how you can't see very much, you know, into the distance. These are the same type of ways where you have to literally pull over to the side of the road and then hope and pray that nobody runs into you. Kind of scary. Well, here's the good news. We finished our walk. No one's gonna like the walk unless you take advantage of just seeing the giant cloud behind me. I'll tell you what, it was worth it. It was worth it. That wasn't the biggest, longest walk I've ever taken by any means. But just to have one more walk with you guys to keep the streak going, If you've been working on an extra long walking streak and you want to share it with me, please do. If you've been walking with me for the last 500 days, let me know. And whatever you do, hit the thumbs up button if you can. I will see you tomorrow. Stay out of this crazy weather. Bye.